All right, so good day to you guys. Over times, I've been seeing people build dashboards or reports with a text box title in Microsoft Power BI. So, one of the ways that we can further make our dashboard or our reporting interactive in Microsoft Power BI is to build a dynamic title. So, say for example, I want to select the bet here for a particular product. So, all the visuals on my report page are going to be filtered down, obviously. But the report title is still saying that this report is going to be from 1910 to 1970. So how can I make this report page, the report title, to be dynamic, to be interactive, and be responsive with whatever report or the bet year that I'm selecting? So based on whatever value that you're selecting, I want this report title to also reflect and change as to whatever selection that I'm making. So one of the things that I'm going to enjoin every one of us to do is to stay away a little from using a text box when we are building a title report. So I highly recommend using a CAD visuals. So anytime you want to build a report title, make sure to use a CAD visuals because it is responsive and it allows you to bring in your formulas, your function, and whatever thing that you want in your own way. So in this case, I'm going to take that off and then bring in a CAD visual. So I'm going to be using the CAD visuals to build my report title. So now in this case, I've created the CAD visuals. Then the next thing that I'm going to be doing is to create a measure. So the measure is going to be based on whatever that I'm selecting. Say for example, the bet here or the full name of the customers, so that anytime any of the slicers or the filter is selected, the report title automatically is going to reflect it as well. So let's go ahead and try to create a measure. So I have a measure table. So I'm going to say new measure. So in my new measure, let me call this select year. So let me say this is a selected year. Then the formula that I'm going to be using is going to be the selected values. If you have come across the formula or the function before, selected values. Then the first argument is the column name. So what is the column name that I want to work with? So basically from the bet here, so I'm going to navigate to the bet here. So I want to select the bet here. So if the bet here is not selected, that is, if any of the slicer is not selected, then what should be the result? So this is what this guy is basically saying. So I want the selected value to be the column name for the bet here. So if I select any bet here, then it should reflect the selected value. Then if I'm not selecting, let's say I've cleared the filter, so what should actually happen? Then I'm going to say, okay, you know what, display all years, like this. Now if I should run this report, if I should run this function, then the selected year is working. If I bring that into the card, then I can see that I have all years because none of the year has been selected yet. So if I come to the slicer, let me quickly make, as you can see, this is reflecting already because I've already selected a year. So let me make the slicer a drop down. So slicer setting, then I change to the drop down. So if I select any year, for example, let's say 1911, then this report title automatically changes to 1911. That means the report that I'm seeing presently is based on that particular year for 1911. Now, how can I make it further interactive? So I can say, hey, for example, let me clear the filter, then create another measure. So in this measure, what I'm going to be doing basically is to use the function called, let me call this interactive title. So what I'm going to be doing in this case is to say a equals to combine values. What you can also use in the place of combine values is the concatenate, but concatenate in Microsoft Power BI or in DAX only allows you to put in two values. So if you want to join multiple tests together, then you can use the combine values. And then the first argument in the combine values is the delimiter. So just as you know, delimiter means a separator. So what do you want to separate your text that you want to join together? Then I'm going to say, hey, I want the separator to be a space. So a quotation space quotation. Then I'm going to say comma. The first expression that I want to join is, I want to say this report is for the year, or this report is for, let me just put it that way. So this report is for, comma, Then what I want to do basically, you know that we created a measure the other time that is the selected year. So any year that we select, we want it to come together as a concatenated value with this report is for. So basically we are going to say this report is for, if we select 1910, then it's going to show 1910. Then if we are not selecting anything, it's going to say this report is for all years. So basically I'm just going to select the value, the measure that we created the other time, which is a selected year. Then when I run this, then I'm going to have let me bring that guy in. So the name of the function is the interactive, let me search for it, interactive table. So I'm going to pick this guy and take this guy off, then bring this guy inside of the field. Then I'm going to see this report is for all years. Immediately I try to filter down any of this, then you're going to see that is now reflecting this report is for 1910. If I decide to say 1913, then it's going to say this report is for 1913, and so on and so forth. So depending on any way that you want to make your dashboard or your report interactive, you can as well customize yours in any way possible that you feel like is going to make your report interactive. So you can also add another column, another field. Let's say for example, if I want to say on the previous one, so let me take off all this. Then on the measure table, let me create another measure that's going to be for the full name of the customer. So I'm going to say, hey, this measure is going to be for interactive customer. Then it's going to be equals to selected value. So selected value for the customer name, then it's going to be the full name of the customer. So the customer full name, comma. Then the alternative, that is if any of the customers name is not selected, what should happen? All customers. So this should come as all customers. Then if I run this, then it's also going to tell me that, okay, you know what, this is going to be selecting for all customers. So inside of my interactive formula, the interactive title that I created the other time, which is selected combined values, we can say this report is for all years, comma, and we can say and, comma, customer name. The interactive customer name that we just created. So interactive customer name. So that means this report, basically the report title is going to change to this report is for whatever year that we select and whatever customer name that we select. So if I should run that, then I'm going to have this basically. So this report is for all years and all customers because none of the year is selected and none of the customer is selected. Let me try and change this particular visual to a drop down as well. So slicer setting, then I'm going to make that a drop down. So if I select for Alonso Teresa, for example, then it's going to say this report is for 1960 and Alonso Teresa, because Alonso Teresa is basically present in the year 1960, so it is not for all of them. So this guy basically filter down based on the year that they have. So if you like, if you say, you can see if I select Alonso Teresa is not appearing more than 1960. So basically you cannot, there is no other way that you can be able to filter down by the year. So if you have two functions like this, one of them is going to be operating and then be selecting based on how connected the two of them are. So if I say for Anad Kasi, for example, then this guy is going to say this report is for 1976 and Anad Kasi. So this is how you can build a report title, a dynamic report title in Microsoft Power BI using DAX, and also how you can make your report title to be interactive and usable for you and your users. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like and follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.